fam. Welcome back to A Nurse in the Kitchen. It's Maggie. I haven't been in the kitchen that much lately, but I think I'm still fighting. I don't want to say jet lag. It's been about a week since I returned home from my trip to Africa. I was there for 3 weeks. And I thought it would be helpful if I share with you my experience because I think it has been an experience, the experience of a lifetime. It was always a dream of mine to travel to the continent, and I planned it, and it was here before I knew it, and I did it. I went on a trip and had the best time. So I want to encourage you if you have any interest in traveling anywhere, just go ahead and do it. And I know it can be a little bit unnerving, especially if you're traveling solo. And the title of this video is 60 Plus Black Woman Travels Solo to Africa. So I think I want to do maybe 3 videos. One talking about the general ideas of just traveling abroad, the things, the steps you need to take. Because it's funny, I belong to a few Facebook groups, and it's like the questions people are asking are the same questions that have been answered over and over again. So there must be a reason that some people just are totally clueless about the first step to take, in terms of a passport or visas. Especially if you have not traveled anywhere. If you have a passport, yeah, you're a little bit more knowledgeable about all the steps. So I've taken some notes because I want to stay on topic, and I'm going to try not to make these videos too long, but sometimes when I just get started, it's hard to stop. So again, if you have any interest in traveling, please do it. I think traveling opens your mind. It just expands your knowledge about the world, about people. It makes you a more learned individual. Whereas you don't have blinders on, you realize that there is a big old world out there, besides your little corner of the world. I've always been curious that way. I love to learn about different cultures, and I find that travel allows me to. I'm a people person, I'm a loner when I'm home, but I like to learn about other cultures, other people. So to me, that is just so exciting. But in the world that we live in right now, I mean, I've been to Europe several times. I've decided I don't want to go anywhere where I'm going to increase the chances of my discomfort as to however I'm treated or if the person doesn't want me there. There are certain countries that are a little bit less than friendly to people of color. So in that case, I decided I'm not going to go there. You don't need my money. If my money is still green, but if you're going to treat me differently, I don't want to be bothered. And it's also because I'm in a different space in life. I've lived most of my life. I don't know how much longer I have left. I could just drop dead of a stroke or a heart attack. So I'm going to do what I can while I can. So YOLO, you only live once, and live today as if today is your last day because you don't know how much longer you have. So treasure every moment. Now let's address the topic about traveling solo. It is nice to have somebody with you when you're seeing something, you're experiencing something good to say, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. It's fun. But in the absence of that person, that companion, don't let that stop you. You can still enjoy and have a wonderful time by yourself because wherever you go, if you're a people person, you're going to meet other people. Whether I've never met anybody on the plane, personally, but people have hooked up on plane, got married. That hasn't happened to me. So I'm not gonna go on a trip just expecting that to happen. So you have to be comfortable with being alone on a trip and make your own decision. So yes, it's nice, but it's not a negative if you don't have someone to share it with. Like I said, you going to be intentional about making contacts where you can still have a wonderful time, even if it's not somebody you previously know, right? The disadvantages of another positive, I should say, of traveling solo is that you make your own itinerary. You own your own schedule. You can decide one day, I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to stay in and relax and recharge. And I did that a couple of times. Whereas somebody may want to go, 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 and I have to think in my in my mind, I'm supposed to be on vacation, so I need to have some R&R time. So to me, there are more pluses to traveling solo than negatives. That's just me. Okay. So I wanted to go to the motherland and I wanted to visit and see what it's all about. Of course, I belong to different Facebook groups. I've been watching different YouTubers, people who have visited, people who have moved, and everybody in between. Okay. Now I don't have time to watch every single episode of every YouTuber, right? But once you decide where you interested in, you need to do your homework. You need to read about that place. You need to understand the culture. You have to be prepared, right? And the first thing you want to do, not the first thing, but one of the most important things you want to do is, what does it take to go over there? How do you enter the country? What do you need in terms of visa requirement? It's now with COVID. What is the COVID protocol? Because every single country has a different protocol and it gets updated, periodically, because we're learning different things about COVID. So you have to stay abreast. You don't just show up and then say, oh, duh, I didn't know. Well, they're not going to be very nice to you or sympathetic. They're going to say, what, you don't have that? Move over here. Get out of the line, right? So you need to learn about the country. You need to go onto the embassy website. So if you wanted to go, for example, to Kenya, you want to say Kenyan embassy. You Google that. Then most of them have an office in Washington, D.C. You go in there and you read about all the different categories of foreigners and how you enter the country, how do you stay in the country. And they're going to give you a lot more information in the COVID protocol, right? I was reading on one website where they talk about safety, talk about transportation. They talk about whether you can drink the water or not, right? So if you decide to go to Africa, you have to, you will know after you read that there are certain parts of the continent where they have certain diseases that are prevalent. So for me, going to Ghana, I had to take a yellow fever vaccine. And that was after getting the 2 doses of COVID. So I was a little bit, oh my God, do I need to put another thing in my body? But it was either that or do you expose yourself to malaria? And to me, it was a no-brainer. So I took yellow fever shot, only felt it going in, never had any kind of redness, swelling, fever, nothing. It was like nothing. So do your homework. All right. So if you want to travel internationally, whether you go into the Caribbean or certain countries, you are going to need a passport. Okay. It used to be you can send to get your passport. You can go to the post office. I don't know if that's still the case. But again, you can Google U.S. passport and they'll tell you which office closest to you where you can go and get that done. And I think I know for, well, anyway, I don't want to say about my area, but you're going to find out which office. I don't think they do them at the post office anymore. You actually have to go and then again, before you go, you have to get those pictures done, and they tell you exactly how those pictures are supposed to be. No eyeglasses, certain things you can't wear in terms of jewelry and stuff like that. Just be compliant and follow those rules, okay? I remember when I had to last year get some pictures. I was just recovering from COVID, so those pictures look awful. But I don't take good pictures anyway, so anyway. So make sure you understand what the requirements are for the country. Now, I also think it's beneficial to hook up to some expats group in the U.S. Let's say you want to go to Nigeria. They have Nigerians in the U.S. and they have groups, and there's a ton of information, okay? That way you're hooking up, you're listening, you get the posts, and you're getting familiar. So it's not, if you decide today, I'm going to go to Nigeria next week, well, you're not going to be as prepared. But if it's something that you've been planning for like 6 months, 8 months, you're going to get a ton of information. And of course, I take notes, I write down what I need to know so that way I am prepared. You could use your phone or however. So expat group in the US, YouTube groups of people who are on the ground. It gives you tons of information, more information than you think you need. So the visa, we talked about it. Understand what you need to get the visa. Now, in my case, and I'm not gonna just focus on my case. Generally, there are some countries, if you just go in for a visit, that you don't need a visa. I think Europe, you don't need a visa, just your passport. And I know they were going to try to change that, but I think it's still the case. But if you go into Asia, Africa, Iceland, other places like that, you probably do need a visa. So that's what I said. Go onto the website for the country's embassy in the US. They're going to tell you exactly how to get into the country. Some for Africa, some countries, you can get what we call visa on arrival. That means you don't have to get a visa before you show up. When you land. Some countries you need to do it ahead of time. Some countries you can get it right. You get there. I think they give you like a 30-day visa. Okay. Now, people who want to study, people who want to start a business, people who are diplomats, they have different requirements for their visa. So again, do your homework. So once you decide where you're going to go, you're learning a lot about the country, you know about the requirement for your visa, whether you need a visa or not. Of course, you get your passport. Now, the passport can take you a little bit to get. So especially now with the worker shortage. So make sure you plan to get your passport in time. So don't book your flight until you have your passport in hand, okay? Also, if you do have a passport and you want to travel internationally, they tell you do not book a trip if your passport is going to expire in 6 months or less. Just because you may have some difficulties. For example, let's say you test positive for COVID. You don't want to have a passport that's going to expire in 30 days and then you end up having to stay on the ground and your passport expired. It's just like some headaches you don't want to get yourself into. So you want to be sure you are prepared. You're trying to reduce the likelihood that you're going to have some difficulties on the ground. Okay? So make sure your passport is current. Okay. When you decide to go, it's nice to just to reach out to some people on the ground if you can. Because sometimes they may have a concierge service. They'll tell you, they'll give you, and don't be shy about asking questions. Ask questions about transportation. Some people would give you a referral for a driver. Ask questions about exchanging money, because the currency could be different. Where you can get the best rates. Ask information about getting a phone. When I was traveling in Europe a few years back, I bought what we call an international phone. But now, with this trip, what you had to do was I bought a cheap phone. You can unlock your phone and swap out the SIM card. I didn't want to mess up with my iPhone, so I just got a cheap phone for like $60. and then I bought a SIM card from that country where you got a local number and you can make calls and get text messages. What you also want to do, you want to sign up for WhatsApp. WhatsApp, I kept saying, it's a lifesaver. It is free. Most everybody's on WhatsApp, so it is a two-way thing. So if you have WhatsApp, the person you want to contact has to have WhatsApp also. You get all free calls, you get all free texts, you can actually FaceTime, you get messages. Now, I don't know why it's free, but it's good, okay? So wherever the person is in the US or in Canada or wherever they have WhatsApp, you can communicate. And that keeps your roaming charges low because you're not using your plan that you have in the US. If you do that, you're going to be paying a lot of money, okay? So that's why you buy the local phone. That way, whatever minutes or usage plan that you bought is going to cover you. So when I was in Ghana, I got a SIM card for like two CDs. $1 is like 6 CDs. So that was like what, 30 cents? Come on. And the phone was $60. And then I bought an internet plan. I was going to be there 2 weeks, so I bought a 2-week plan. And I think it's like 20 CDs or something. So it was really cheap, right? So that made things easier. So if I wanted to use Uber or any kind of other app, they usually would ask you for a local number, and you want to have that local number. Okay, so you get information about transportation, maybe an airport pickup. You get information about where to go, how to go around, which places to visit, what your interests are. If you're business minded, you want to ask about business groups. There is so much information you can gather online and through those Facebook groups. It's amazing. I mean, you get there, you're like, yep, everything you said was right. Everything you said was right. I got my tea. Look at that. It's got green tea. I have lemon. There is not cinnamon. Let's see. A green tea and oh goodness, I forgot what else I have in there, but it's really good. It's calms you down. And you know it's detoxing, okay? Let's see. What you want to do, of course, you want to book where you are going to stay. Now, if you need a visa, I need a visa for Ghana. They want to know where you're going to stay. Let me tell you, these people keep tabs on you. So don't think you're going to disappear, go underground when you go into these countries. They want to know exactly where you're staying. Now, depending on how long you're going to stay, you can decide to do Airbnb or you can decide to do a hotel. It's your choice. Of course, a hotel has more amenities and it depends on what your budget is, where exactly in the area you want to stay. So all that stuff you're going to decide ahead of time. So make sure you are in contact with your manager, your house manager and such. When you get there, your passport is your lifeline wherever you're traveling, okay? Now, a lot of people get those bags called crossbody where it's in the front. You don't want to take your passport when you go on an excursion, okay? Make a copy of your passport. If you're vaccinated, make a copy of that and always have those with you. The other thing you need to do, and I didn't do that, is to register with the U.S. Embassy where you're going. That way, they know you're in the area. God forbid something happened, they'll be looking for you, hopefully. Hopefully. Some things that you want to get with you, take with you in addition to, we'll talk about packing in a minute. You want to get like a universal adapter because whether you're in Europe, in Asia, there are some adapters because everybody's electrical outlets are a little bit different. So you want to get that. You want to also invest in a portable charger. That way your phone gets charged. Again, it's a safety issue. If you're traveling abroad, you don't want to be caught without your phone or your phone out of charge. That is a safety issue. You want to be able to call for help. Make sure you put down in your phone what the emergency number of the area is. Not every place is 911. Okay? Keep that in mind. Let's see. We talked about hotel versus Airbnb. Now, packing. I think I did a post for Instagram. If you are going someplace where you think you're going to be out of something that you really have to have, okay? If you're flexible and you're not set in your ways, you're going to have a much easier time wherever you travel. If you're not a picky eater, you're going to have a great time. Now, if you're gluten-free because of health reason, or you want to be gluten-free because it's, in vogue, that's different. Because I went to Africa and there was a lot of bread, a lot of rice, a lot of root, like cassava and potatoes and stuff like that. So you got to be flexible. Now, of course, you don't want to totally lose control, and when you come home, you're going to have to, get back. But be flexible. Don't say, well, I need this, or I only eat that. Now, also, depending on where you're going, water, bottled water is your friend. I drink a lot of water in Ghana. I did not drink as much water in Rwanda because the temperature wasn't as hot. In Ghana, I was sweating, but I was just taking a lot of water. So it was so nice. My landlady, the first Airbnb I went, she's like, oh, I can let you have this pack of water for so much money. And I was like, thank you, because I just got there. And you can't take too much water at the airport. So it's like, what am I going to do? So it was a nice touch for her to offer that. Drink water. Don't drink fountain drinks. I'm always asking, do you have anything in cans or in bottles? Brush your teeth with bottled water. You rinse your mouth. You put that water on your toothbrush. And when you're showering, close your mouth, because if that water gets inside your system, you could be sick. Don't eat any fresh fruit or vegetables. Now, I've seen people on the in the Facebook group saying, "Oh well, we've been eating the food, blah, 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 nothing happens to us." Trust me, you don't want to take that chance. I went to Chile, South America, and I got really sick because I wasn't thinking. I ordered food at a restaurant and I asked for a Coke, and she didn't bring me a bottle. She bought it in a glass. And then when I got sick, I was trying to go back. I said, what did I do? What did I do? And it's like, bingo, because she got it from one of those things you pull, and it was, a fountain drink. So I got sick out of that. And let me tell you, once you get sick once, you're not going to do it again. I guarantee you. Okay, so you want to pack light. I said that before. Invest in things like this, things that don't wrinkle very often. Pack things that you can use interchangeably. And of course, shirts, you can only wear that once. But, take some t-shirts. Like I said, underwear, you need maybe 2 or 3 sets. You can wash them as you shower, hang them to dry. The next day, you're good to go. And then don't overpack. Don't pack. You're not going to, like a concert or something fancy. If you want to pack a little black dress, you can do that. Make sure you understand what the temperature is going to be where you're going. Whether you're going to need a jacket or maybe the wrap. I always have wraps with me. And you can always take them off. When you live in Florida, you know how to layer up or down. Okay. So pack light. Don't just fill your suitcase with snacks and stuff. If you don't have your favorite snacks for a few days, you're going to be okay. Trust me, you're going to be okay. So okay, don't do that. Because I had to take a lot of stuff out when I got to the airport. And one scale said I was under 50 pounds. The other scale said I was over. So I had to throw away stuff, my hair stuff, and my tuna fish and stuff. I was heartbroken, but hey, I got over it. Okay, we talked about WhatsApp. So we talked about getting the SIM card. You also want to know where to exchange your money. If you get in and you need to exchange money, you want to find out where is the safest place, because people are watching when you come in and how much money you're taking. So you could make yourself a target, okay? So don't exchange your money all at one time. Get your bearing, get enough for you to maybe get a cab. And the cabs in those developing countries, they prefer cash. So don't go Uber, credit card. Some of them don't even know how to use a credit card. And plus it delays their payment. You get a better rate if you have cash around you. So know what the exchange rate is. Usually at the airports, you get a lower exchange rate than if you go to those places. And again, make sure you're safe doing that. Maybe you have somebody with you, somebody you've connected with. You gotta have your wits about you when you travel. You have to be aware. Don't be clueless and walking around like you're in La La Land. I mean, they can pick on those people and you become a target, okay? So try to blend in as much as possible. We talked about do your homework, being flexible, understand that things may not work as you plan. Those COVID requirements, I'm going to caution you. Make sure you read very well. Or ask someone like me, somebody who's done it, how to do it if you're confused, because it gets confusing, especially the timing of when you should get your COVID test done. And budget for it because you're going to be doing a lot of COVID tests. Now, I have to say only one person went through my nose and she gave it to me and I did it myself. So don't think that it's going to go up your brain. You know, people say all this crazy stuff. The majority of the people, they went through your throat. So it's no biggie. But it costs you because a lot of stops you have to keep doing those COVID tests. And you're not going to get on the plane without the COVID test. So you know what's up. So do your homework. When you get on the ground, make sure you find out the best way to get around. Now, when I go to a new country and I don't know, I don't rent a car. The second time around, I might, but the first time I don't. So I need to know, is there Uber or a Uber equivalent? Because not every country has Uber, okay? I think as American, we expect that every country is going to, you know, function like us. No, it doesn't. So find out which app you need to download to get around. So make sure you're a little bit savvy with your phone and with apps and stuff so you don't get stuck or having to ask everybody to help you. That, again, puts you at risk. Okay, so I think all this information I'm giving you is to get you to the first step of getting your visa, getting your passport. Once you land, transportation, your SIM card, try to get around. And then if you're going to book some tours, I caution you to do them through a reputable company like Expedia. What's the other one? Booking.com or some of those companies, because that way, you know, they would have vetted those people. Because what they do, you have Expedia, it's a company, but they just contract with locals to do those tours and tours or excursions, let's say. So that way, you know, they've done a little bit of background on this individual. So you're not going to just go cold turkey on your own. Again, be safe. Think safety, okay? All right, I think that's what I have for just traveling abroad, especially if you're by yourself and you are a single woman. Okay, It's lovely talking to you. God bless you. I love you. À la prochaine.